Hey, YouTubers and friends, how you doing out there? Thanks for joining me tonight. Here in a little bit, I'll give Adam the Antman a call on Skype. He should be rolling off the freeway and settled in somewhere about now, somewhere around the Big Sack. So I see we have our friend Eric Carter, our friends Eric Carter and Dan Zoller in the house. How y'all doing? Right on. How's the shits, huh? Beep. All right. Well, you know who's coming, and we'll leave enough alone. Hey, Mr. John Shaw, how you doing? We'll be right back with Adam Ant here in just a sec. Hopefully Adam's somewhere where he can pick up.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Adam?
What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just kicking back.
Just,
Got a few of our friends in the house. And
I'm just grabbing a coffee right now. I'll be out in the van in 2 seconds, so if it's loud, that's why.
Well, it's happening live, so it is what it is. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm doing, so. But it's been a lot's happened since we talked last, for sure.
Oh, cool. Well, you'll be filling us in a minute.
Yeah. Who we got on here?
I was going to meet up with, well, Dan Zoller's here, and Ronald, and Eric, and John Shaw, Eric Carter from Ohio, John Shaw from Texas, Dan Zoller from the Motherlode country, Hangtown. We have Ronald from, Wisconsin, Minnesota, something like that up there, yeah. And we have Kevin in the house from New England.
Kevin Delsky?
Yeah. Jesse's not with me, Ronald. It's just me, myself, and I, along with Adam.
Thank you very much.
Adam's getting some coffee.
Well needed after being out in the woods for 2 days. All right.
Coffee's a staple for me. I have to have it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got the French press, but it's just not the same. You know, it's not as good as what you want always.
Yeah. I hear you. I definitely hear you.
Ugh. All right. See if I can put this thing on. How do I go on? Let's see if I can put it on live. Can I do that still? I can, right?
Yeah. Just make it available so your webcam or your phone cam can pick you up. You should be able to find it somewhere. Ronald's in Minnesota. Is that how they say it there, Ronald? Minnesota.
Can you see me now?
Not yet. Can you see me now?
Can you see me now? Oh.
No.
I guess I have to do it right when you call me, I guess, because they gave me the option right when you were calling me, but I didn't hit the right
want
button.
me to call you back?
Yeah, call me back if you want.
Yeah. We'll call you back.
All right. All right, bye.
All right, we're going to call him back. That's right, Dan. YouTube Live. Hello, Alexander Mendoza. Now he's not picking up at all. Hey, David, how you doing, buddy? Hope you looked like you had an excellent trip over to the mainland of Oz, to Victoria. Looked like you had a good time with Red Dog and the other anonymous guy. And I'll give Adam here another try here in a second. And looked like you had a good time with Chris and all those guys. Look like you did, brother. Look like you did. Hey, Don, how you doing?
Okay,
There you
can
go,
you see me now?
Adam. Yeah, turn your phone the other way so it's horizontal.
This way?
It will give a better picture of you. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, the sun's still up. Oh, it's going down.
It's dark here.
Yeah, it's nice.
So where'd we leave off? Last time you looked like crap. You felt like crap. Your eyes were all puffy. And Arizona wasn't being kind to you at all. So what's happened since then?
So a lot of good stuff has happened. Really, it's only gotten better. It was a little rough at first. I lost my hearing 100% when I came through, when I was going through Prescott National Forest, which killed me driving by there. I mean, there was just, it looked so good, but I couldn't stop. Once I got up to the top of the hill and started going down, when I had so much sinus pressure, my ears popped, but I lost my hearing. I couldn't hear anything. There was Harleys going by. I couldn't hear my stereo. When my ears popped back when I got into California around 29 Palms. My stereo was blasting. I had no clue, but but I instantly, I mean, I had taken Sudafed and Benadryl and all types of crap, but once I got out of even 29 Palms, I still didn't feel, I couldn't really breathe, and I was still, even when I got into San Bernardino, when I checked into the hotel, the guy's like, we don't allow smoking in the room. And I was like, I wasn't smoking, man. I said, my face is blowing up from allergies. He's like, oh, okay. And, but after a day, I started, I mean, the next day, once I got out next to the river and I was sitting out there, I started being able to breathe and I felt better. But it was definitely the desert, and that, I forget what the name of the plants. There was 3 plants that the lady said that I was 100% allergic to, and she said they had yellow flowers on them. And I was messing around with those plants, filming on one of my videos, so I know that's what it was. And but I got a little bit of gold, and I forget which. It was at Lynx Creek, but Rose Creek looked really good. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. I wanted to, and I talked to Swiftwater when I got like halfway down into the valley before you get into the big stretch to Quartzsite, and Swiftwater's like, oh, just turn around and go back, get yourself some gold. And I was like, he had me stopped on the side of the road, sitting there contemplating going back, because I knew I wasn't going to go back. Once I left, I was like, I'm not going back up there. But I got into California, went to the San Gabriels, which was really cool. Besides the atmosphere, if you could be down there and not be bothered by, it's not animals there, it's people.
People can do it. That's why I carry a pistol most time when I'm out west. It's the two-legged snakes. Adam? Adam. Uh-oh. Murphy's visiting Adam. Looks like he's frozen. Yeah, here, I'll try him one more again. That doggone Murphy, I tell you.
Something happened. I heard it beep on my phone and then it shut off. It's So anyway, San Gabriel's was good. I got some good gold, small gold. Once I started heading north, I hooked up with John Ratley. I was in Merced, and John Ratley ended up, guy's unbelievable, man. Invited me right into his life, invited me up. I stayed on his property, and we were gonna go out and go digging. We had everything set out, all the high bankers, everything loaded in the truck, and we stopped by the Armor garage, the shop, and we ended up helping them for the day put a warehouse up, which was cool. You know, I loved meeting all those guys and everything. It was a great time. I didn't mind not going digging, but I still haven't got to go out with John. But he brought me through and told me a bunch of the history of the area, and not just the gold history, but the logging history and what they've done, like the railroads. They had, like, it was crazy stuff that was out there, and I saw tons of cool stuff. This whole area was all bucket dredged, and, you know, all the tailings piles everywhere.
Right.
So I did that. Let's see. Then I ended up going out to, I got a nice picker right off of Bedrock I was just driving down 49 in Mariposa. I went by the mining museum, but I didn't go in. I did a little bit of taping around there, but then I was just cruising around, and I was down this little side road, and I seen a guy down on the river panning, and I stopped and I said, "Hey man, I've been driving forever." I said, "I'm dying to go somewhere and talk to somebody." I said, "Everywhere I go, I don't even want to talk to anybody. I haven't seen anybody really panning." I said, "Can I dig here?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, come on down." So I grab my stuff, I go down, talked to him for a little bit. We talked about the gold in the area. He was digging out for some big tree that had blown down river. So I went upstream and found what he was saying. A tree on the other side of it that was tipped over, and the bedrock was all exposed, and all the roots had dug down into the pockets and split the bedrock open. So there was a bunch of material jammed in there. And it was awesome looking bedrock too. Tons of little pockets. And I'm scraping around. I a couple pockets, didn't get much, got a few small pieces. Then I went over towards the edge where the tree was and started cleaning the pocket out. I moved a bunch of rocks, and then I could see it. There's a little glimpse right there. Oh man, it was awesome. Picked it right up. Haven't had much time at any spot, but I don't really mind because I've covered so much ground, and I have a better idea of like gold in areas. I know I didn't do too great down south. As I came up, I got a little bit better, and I found that picker. And then as I came a little bit north, I went to the American River, which that area was amazing too. Just the whole area in general, you know, the gold country area, the history. I stopped by Pioneer Mining Supply, checked that out. That was nice, going into a store that you could actually buy stuff. Not that I had any money to buy anything, but it was cool to see anything.
Right.
Actually kind of a tease because there was like tons of stuff that I wanted, and it was like, oh man, I shouldn't even have come in here, but I got some, which was cool. But the North Fork of the American River, I went down a public parking spot, looked on my Google real quick, saw where I could see some bedrock on an inside bend, and head in that direction. And I didn't even make it down as far as I wanted to because I could see from the trail that there was another section of bedrock that looked better. And I had the dog with me. I brought Petey down there. It was late in the day. I picked two small cracks, cleaned them out, 2.5 pans, man. Unbelievable amount of gold per pan. I was amazed. Like, and that's a hands and pans only place. I couldn't imagine.
Right.
And I was up high. I was like where the water would have been like probably 20 feet, 30 feet over my head. I was up on the bedrock pretty high up. So it was all mostly small gold, but some good small little flakes. So I can't imagine what would be down further down. And even if you did go in there and pan and, you know, or go down there and snipe, it'd be a great place to go snipe closer towards inside the river. Where I was, the water wasn't flowing too much, so you could actually probably do it. But crazy amount of gold, couple pans. It was kind of a tease. I didn't have much time because I was up here. I met up with, well, I didn't meet up with him actually because he was busy, but Josh Reinke, I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but he's a mining consultant for H&B Mining. And, you know, he offered me some field work, testing and taking pictures and stuff on claims, which I'm probably going to take up in the future for like side work.
Right.
But he invited me out I went out and worked. They have a big camp next to one of their claims, and you know, there's tons of debris and all types of stuff all over the road. So he offered me to go up there and stay there for free, and work and clean the roads up, and I could stay on the claim and dig and do whatever. So I said, heck yeah, you know, I was killing 2 birds with 1 stone, getting a little bit of money on the road, working kind of mining related. I stayed on the claim. So at that area, I was by New Bullards Bar Reservoir in Downeyville, I think that's what it was. Or
okay.
Dobbins.
I know where Downeyville is. I used to have family there.
It was Dobbins, California.
Okay.
Right on the edge of the Tahoe Plumas National Forest line, I guess. I was in kind of both of them driving through. But unbelievable roadside geology out there. I mean, you can just tell there's gold out there. The claim I was on, I didn't get much time to dig because I did a lot of work, and I raked all day yesterday. From 9 to 5:30 or something. I cleared like 4,000 feet of road and, I don't know, 12 campsites.
Right.
I didn't have too much time today, and then when I drove by the Yuba on the way, I saw...
Now you froze up again, Adam. On the Yuba. Well, I could imagine how shoddy his connections could be where he's at. I don't know if he's in Sacramento or not. You'd think he'd have better service in Sacramento. I'm gonna hang up and call him back and get him back on. Maybe there you go, you froze up again.
I'm at Starbucks too, and they get good Wi-Fi, and it's not working good, obviously. But anyway, I went by. Did you hear about the Yuba part?
You were just getting on the Yuba.
Yeah, I drove by Yuba on the way to the claim, and I was like blown away by just how it looked. It just looked amazing. So I planned for today that I would get up in the morning, work for a couple hours at the camp, then go dig on the claim, and then go out to the Yuba. So I did that, and I got a little bit of gold on the claim, and I had a target with the gold bug in a tree on the same side that Josh had told me all the big gold was coming out. And it was, at first I thought it was, oh, it's got to be a bullet, but it didn't sound like a bullet. It sounded like a gold target. And it was stuck in this root down low. So I don't think it was a bullet, but I could not figure out where it was or get it out. And it was driving me insane. So I was going to end up cutting the root off. So I was like, all right, I'm going to get out of here. I'll go to the Yuba. I went down to the Yuba by the bridge, walked around down there, did a bit of metal detecting over the cracks, a huge area. I fell smashed down on the ground pretty good, and only found a bunch of lead weights in that spot. So then I drove. I have a bunch of big gold discoveries on my phone, and there was one of the points was like 5 miles down.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove down, I think it's 49 that I was on, Highway 49, or 20, one or the other. And it was like 5 miles down, so I figured out where it was and found a path and walked down it. And I brought the dog with me. He was wicked good for once. And I got down to the spot, was looking around, and back home, I didn't like digging on the big rivers ever. I never had good luck on the big rivers. I always had luck on the small ones. So
Right.
the pay streaks are way different on a big river. It's going to be more
Yes.
in a pay streak. It's not going to be kind of all over the place. There'll be more concentrations of gold on small creeks.
Right.
There's kind of gold everywhere. So I went down there, and I was doing the normal thing that I would do, and I just wasn't getting anything. I tested all over the place. So I sat back, took a minute, put all my stuff down, walked like 200 feet down the river and climbed up on top of a huge rock and just sat there and looked at the river for like probably 15 minutes. And then I started noticing the watermark, how high it was. And this big, huge boulder that I was working around, it was a huge outcrop, and there was a big, massive boulder behind it.
Right.
I always go towards the big rocks in the small creeks, but I was right next to a big rock, and I wasn't getting anything, so I was kind of blown away. So I stepped back and looked at it, and I realized that when the water was flowing, that the pay streak would actually be probably about 10 feet out. And I looked back, and then I started noticing in the water there was really big rocks lined up. So I went right off to the side of that, and I found a spot where I could tell, and there was a bunch of big rocks that had flopped in, and they all packed in. They were really packed in tight, and they were big. So I wiggled some of those around and got in there. First pan, bam, gold. So then I started really trying to get into it. I got down to one spot, and I was pulling a good amount of gold out. I pulled out, I only got like, I think 7 pans done. And the first couple didn't really have much because it was mostly the overburden. So, 3 or 4 pans, I probably got double the amount of bigger gold, the same size gold, the bigger gold that I got from the American River, I got in 4 pans on the Yuba. So I would imagine that underneath those big rocks, there would be bigger stuff. So I'm going to try to get back up to this area. I got to go out to Vallejo, which is over by the coast, for a job interview tomorrow for a concrete job. But when I was at H&B Mining and talking to the guys after I came back, the guy Harrington, one of the owners, he has a construction company. He offered me to call him for work and stay kind of close to that area. He says I'm not going to like Vallejo. It's all gangs, and it's not a good area. I wasn't planning on staying there, but now he's got me second guessing and saying that I should kind of try to stay around here. But I already told this guy that I'm going there tomorrow, so I'm not going to blow him off. I'm going to go there and talk to him. But I think I'm going to be coming right back this way. Maybe do 1 week of work out there and then come back. And then not this weekend, but next weekend, I'll be back down in the South Mother Lode. I say Couteville. I don't know what everybody else calls it, but that's what I call it. They call it different. But we're going to Couteville, and we're going to hit a spot on Bull Creek, which John brought me down to in his truck. There's no way in heck my van will make it. That's 90% of the problem. Like, this is great having your house with you and all that, but you need a quad or a dirt bike or a side-by-side or a Jeep. There's no way, like where I want to go, there's no way I would get there unless I walked. And there's no way I'm walking without a freaking gun, because there's definitely mountain lions and bears and definitely some weird people in the woods too. So there's just no way to do it. So I get it. It kind of stinks. I kind of have to
Well, you know, California has really strict gun laws like Massachusetts and New York. So,
Well, that's why I'm thinking if I go get a job and I work for a few weeks, um, I could get a place a lot quicker, and I don't have to stay in the van. Now, if I get a
right,
cheap place, not only can I move my family out right when the kids get out of school, but I could get rid of this van. I could get a Jeep again, and then I'd have to go out on weekends or whatever, or I could figure something out. But I'll be still digging, and I'll be able to get more places. Because if I could get down to a lot of these places safely, I would. But I don't. There's no way I'm taking the van down these. I mean, they're tiny, tiny, tiny roads on the edge of cliffs with ruts like 3 feet deep, and all it takes is one snow or a rainstorm, like happened to me on Retchilla Ravine, and I'd be bumming out there. There's no way I'm getting out, and they wouldn't find me until spring. So,
right.
but the mining history in this area, well, just in California in general, is just amazing. You're going down the road and you see, stamp mills and monitors and ore carts and tracks, and it's just unbelievable. I stopped by the
Well, that's what made that whole state was gold, you know.
yeah,
Actually, the whole West Coast, Oregon, Washington, they were all built on mining. Actually, New Mexico, Arizona,
yeah, the whole West,
Nevada.
really. I mean, that's why we came out here. There was already some people here, but not like it is.
Oh well, you know LA's older than Boston and older than New York and even
For the Mexicans were here first.
oh yes, you know, Spaniards and Mexicans, yes.
And then
Um, the First Nations, as some call them,
yep.
but you
Yeah, I watched the
know,
whole documentary on it. It was actually pretty interesting.
yeah, I grew up about an hour and a half towards the ocean from Pomona. So I lived in Orange County about a mile from Disneyland in Anaheim.
Yep.
I just wish I would have been into prospecting then and not chasing tail and surfing, you know. I
Yeah.
lived, breathed, and ate surf. So, but that was then and this is now.
I liked Southern California. I really did. Like the weather was beautiful, but it's also wintertime there. I guess it's extremely hot. In
Where
summer.
you were in Pomona and Covina,
I stayed in Azusa area a lot.
Azusa, well, you go right through Azusa, get up to the East Fork San Gabriel,
Yeah.
and it gets hot in the Inland Empire. And then what happens, it gets really smoggy there too. You could
Yeah.
cut it with a knife, it gets so thick. Of course, I was by the coast. We had a lot cleaner air, except when we had Santa Ana winds and it blew all that smog through the passes into the coast area, but it blew hot, warm air with it. If you went through 29 Palms, you came over on Highway 10
Yeah.
from Arizona
Yep.
and went right by Joshua Tree National Monuments, a
Yep.
good gold district up north of that,
Quartzsite
through the
looked awesome too, but
Mojave.
I
Yeah,
couldn't stop.
well, the way your health was doing at that time, no, it wasn't a good idea, huh?
No, when I went out to Santa Monica, I lost the dog for like 3 hours on the San Gabriel, and I had a horrible day. I was getting harassed everywhere, so I was like, you know what, I need to relax. I'm headed to the coast. I figured I'd go mess around on the beach, so I went to Santa Monica, and like you were saying, as I got through LA closer to the ocean, there was like a wall of smog. It was I've never seen anything like it. It was the craziest thing. And as the sun went down, it like disappeared on the beach. But what an amazing place the Santa Monica Pier is, especially to watch the sunset. It was the coolest looking thing. I did a live feed on Facebook. That was something really cool. I'm glad that I at least went down to the coast while I was down there.
You probably would have had less hassles and stuff if you went to Orange County beaches and stuff over LA County beaches, you know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of weirdos.
I got lost in Crenshaw. I ended up trying to stay in Crenshaw because I couldn't get through. I got so screwed up on the highway system in LA. It was ridiculous. My GPS kept going, rerouting, turn around, U-turn. And I'm like, oh, man. So I got harassed. I got 3 knocks on the van that night by the police telling me to move. The 3rd time, he goes, listen, this is baseball. That's your 3rd strike. He goes, if we see you again, he goes, we're locking you up. So I hopped on the highway and drove to Ontario, California, to a truck stop, paid to sleep. Then at 1:45, he comes and knocks on the door and tells me I have to leave. I said, what do you mean? I paid. He goes, no, but you can't sleep here. I said, well, then why would you have a truck stop? He said, truckers are leaving their trucks here and then taking off for the night. I said, that doesn't make any sense. So he made me leave. So that was it for that area. I said, I can't deal with it because I had so many problems, and I should have gone a little bit west, but I'm glad that I did what I did and came north because I had, besides you with your buddy saying that was down there that was going to help me out, but he was like 2 hours away from where I was, and it was further from where I thought I was going to want to be. So I had to be glad I did because as soon as I got up here, the mining community, the people, they're amazing people. Everybody that I've met.
Yeah, they are.
I wouldn't be able to do this trip if it wasn't for me being a prospector. I wouldn't have the content. I would have been stuck back in New Mexico. I literally, since it's just John Ratley, Josh, you guys, everybody has helped me. You know what I mean? And they're helping me network and getting me jobs and this and that. It's just amazing, you know. The people out here, and most people in general here are pretty nice. I mean, you got the wackadoos, but
well, where you are right now in the Motherlode and around 49, and
I'm in Auburn right now. I'm in
Auburn. You're right by Dan Zoller then.
Yeah, I'm like a half hour or so maybe, but it kills me like.
Locking up again. Okay. Yeah, call in, David.
Oy vey.
It is what it is. It's probably Skype.
Yeah. We'll blame it on them.
Hey, we got a call from a friend of ours, buddy. David's calling from Tasmania.
David, buck up. He just did an amazing too.
How you doing, David?
Yeah, I'm well, Ed. I lost you there for I haven't kept up with the conversation.
You said you were having some troubles with your computer, so I have some questions for.
Yeah, major problem.
Looks like Adam might be having some problems now.
Yeah, he keeps on cutting in and out, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Do you want me to stay on the line while you get the line?
I don't know what's up. Maybe we should just go with pictures and not videos. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
There he is.
Hello?
Can you hear David, Adam?
Yeah, I think so now. What's up, David?
How you doing, man?
What's going on? You You had a good trip too, I saw.
It was absolutely bloody awesome, man. Loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I love that you're doing stuff like that too. It's cool traveling around, meeting everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely awesome. I can't wait to come over to California and hook up with you, man.
Oh yeah, come on over, man. I mean, I'm all over the place, as you can see. I've been up and down and back and forth and side to side all over this place. So I got a good idea of where some good gold is. So
That's good to hear. Good to hear.
yeah,
Don't
let me
forget
know when you want to come out.
It won't be any time really soon, but after that trip, because Deb and I've travelled a lot when I was younger, but Deb hasn't travelled at all, and she's been really scared, like really scared. But that trip that we just did has given her a bit of confidence, even though she got a little bit sick and stuff. And finding that nugget, she's got the gold fever now.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I said, let's go to California, and she's like, yep, let's make it happen. So all I've got to do now is sell a bit of timber, and we're coming over, man, for sure.
Yeah, you can meet up with Gary from Two Toes. I mean, there's so many cool people out here.
Yep. Gary said that he's cool. He's going to take me out when I come over. And Victor Marshall, do you know Victor Marshall?
Yeah, after you told me about it, I started watching. I tried getting in contact with him. Hopefully we'll be meeting up. I got since I've been here now, everybody kind of knows I'm around. I got people calling me all the time wanting to go out, which is cool. It's just a matter of getting there and doing it now, you know?
Yeah. How friendly are gold prospectors? I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed how giving, generous, and just open and friendly gold prospecting community is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Literally, guy gave me a shirt off his back, John Ratley. I showed up. It's a little bit colder. I wasn't prepared. Gives me a brand new shirt. You know what I mean? It's like literally giving me the shirt off his back. You know, the people here, hands down, unbelievable. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be able to do it without everybody, you know, helping me out a little bit. You know, especially the way I'm doing it. It's kind of crazy. So I mean, I need a little bit of help from everybody pointing me around in the right directions. You know, it's easy to get lost out here.
Yeah. Take it, man. I've got to learn to take as well. I like giving, but I've been told you got to learn to give and take. You know, that's the way it goes, and because people feel good giving.
Well, that's why I'm going to find a job, because I said to John, he's like, "Oh, come down. I'll give you the gas money to go back out." And I said, "You know what? I feel like I haven't done anything for myself on this trip. And back home, I'm the same way. I give, and I very rarely take, and I don't like to ask." But in this situation, you got to adapt and realize that you can't do everything yourself sometimes, and you need help. You know what I mean? It makes you a little bit I don't know the word, humbled. It humbles you a little bit. You realize that you need a little assistance sometimes. You know what I mean? I would have been lost. I don't know. I can't even count how many times I really needed help. And it was kind people that help you. You know what I mean? And it's all right to take help sometimes. You know what I mean? If you need a hand. And I said to John, I said, I'm going to go to work for a week. And I said, and then instead of going digging with you this weekend, next weekend I'll go out and I can take you out to breakfast and fill up your tank of gas. You know what I mean? And he said, that's cool. He goes, you know, it's good that you're willing to do that. I said, well, I'm not coming here to just get a free ride. I want to make a life for myself, and I don't want to be known as somebody that needs help all the time. I want to be able to. Right. That's why I went out yesterday, and instead of I was on a gold claim, and I had a rake in my hand in the middle of the national forest, raking roads out in the middle of nowhere. I wanted to go dig, but I was there to do a job, and I did it. And Josh is like, "Oh, go down and dig on the claim." I was like, "No, man, I want to hear. I'm going to work." I said, "If you're going to give me work, I'm not going to go out there and mess around and dig." I said, "I'm going to go out there and rake." You know, and I feel a lot better. I feel like I did something already today, and I feel better about myself just by doing that little bit of work. And then that showed initiative, and the guy that owned the mining company, he's a construction guy, he said, "I'll give you a job, man. Don't go out to Vallejo." You know, it makes you feel a little bit better and shows that, you know, it shows your character. You gotta give back, especially after you take, for sure. You gotta show that you're willing to give back. And I hope
I don't
people
think anyone
realize
who
it.
watches you and knows you would doubt your character, mate. I'm sure everyone knows that you're a worker and you're a hard worker and you've got a bloody big heart and you give, you know. Well, I do. You've helped me. You've helped me big time.
Yeah, you know,
Appreciate
you know, we all got to help each other. You know what I mean? Especially in the mining community. If it keeps up like this, I can't believe it. I mean, I back home there's a group of guys that's great, but people that I don't even know out here are just so open and willing to help you. Especially, you know what I mean? They know that you're in a situation. A lot of these guys, they've done the same thing that I'm doing.
Right.
You know, multiple times. Like John Ratley, he's traveled all over the place, so he knows. Especially with me having my family back home and I feel like I'm alone all the time. The only social interaction I have is right now, or I'm typing on a phone. I don't have anybody. It's not like I can just go relax at my buddy's house or go and play with my kids. I feel like I'm alone all the time. So if I didn't have everybody, I would probably be gone mad by now. I would still be down in the woods talking to the trees or something. You know what I mean? It's crazy how awesome everybody has been.
Your subscribers love you. I do anyway. Hey, I couldn't believe when I just went on that trip over to the mainland, I met people for the first time. They've been watching my videos, my subscribers and that, and they were trying to give me, I shit you not, they were trying to give me big nuggets. So here's some mainland guy. Nah, I couldn't. I could not take them. I know how hard they are to find. But it just spun me out how generous people are, you know. Bloody awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I'm like I said, I'm glad that you got the experience and to go over there and see the things that you saw, which is, I mean, that's so cool. I'd love to do that. And when you come here, I mean, I've already found some really interesting places. So when you do come, I'll have a good little trip planned for you.
You're scaring me with all these bloody two-legged, freaky, tweaky people walking around, though.
Well, when you're out in the woods, it's not that bad, especially if you're with somebody else. The reason I'm worried is because I'm by myself. Imagine having all of your life's possessions in your car, and then stick yourself. Find the furthest spot in Tasmania from cell phone service, and then go another hour there, and have everything that you need and want in life, pretty much besides your family, in your car. So it's not like if I get jacked, I'm just losing my mining equipment. I'm losing all my money, my phone, my gold, my car. You know what I mean? And my car is my house. So I mean, there's a lot at stake. If I had an apartment and I could bomb out there in a Jeep for the day, and then take off or camp with a guy. Most people that come out here, I don't think go out by themselves. If they do, hats off to them. But you got to be used to your area. Not everybody from this area just goes down south and goes out by themselves in the woods. You don't know the map. The state of California, the maps for the trails. None of the roads when you're out in these places, there's no street signs and whatever. It's mountain roads, and then you're relying on these little trail roads. But they change the names of the roads and switch them, so you can't go down certain ways because they don't want you going over there. So you can't even follow, you can't follow GPS, and you can't follow the maps that they give you because they're not right. So unless you know the area and you know that, say, Dogtown Road is Hooterville Road or whatever the situation is, you're screwed because you're going to get out there and you're going to take that road and then you're lost and they're not finding you for 6 months. So, I mean, it's tough. I'm starting to realize how much California politics come into play. But once I get used to the area and I stick to one spot, I'll be back on my same game where I can concentrate on gold and not be looking over my shoulder. And like I said, I haven't even gone out with a single person yet in Doug. I've been by myself. So when I get out with somebody and I get on a spot, I can actually get into my prospecting mode where I'm not looking over my shoulder. I don't have to worry about the dog as much. And I can get into real prospecting and try to get some gold done. I've been mainly testing. I haven't broken out any kind of equipment besides a sluice box. And for testing as quick as I've done in all these places, I've gotten a good amount of gold. I mean, not a lot of weight, but I mean, I've gotten from panning. I mean, I would never get that kind of gold back home panning. It just would never happen. You have to move material back home. You have to be digging trenches to get gold. Here, I don't think it's that way. If I could spend a little time on an area, I feel confident, especially if I was running a high banker, that I would clean house. I mean, I saw John Ratley's gold, and man, I tell you what, I need to get down to that area and start moving some material, because he had some big vials of gold, man, big chunky gold. There's no small gold once you get out to those far places where I'm afraid to go by myself. There's some big gold out there, man. And
oh, for sure. I've seen what Victor Marshall gets. I've seen what Gary from Two Toes. That's just awesome gold. And I know you'll get it. I'm not saying right now because of your situation and everything, but with your knowledge and your enthusiasm towards working and moving material and stuff, all you got to do is get onto that good spot, and you're going to clean up. I know you are.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Gary. I think he's up around the American River. I've seen him on the American River in his videos, and I love that spot. I only went to like the public day area pretty much. If you go up, I mean, I know Gary takes a helicopter into where he goes, which is awesome. But so I would imagine he's pretty far out there. But I can imagine you can see the gold he's getting. I'm way, way, way downstream, and I was getting lots of fine gold per pan. So that's what I was saying. I want to get upstream. I talked to Gary. He could have met me this weekend, but I had planned on doing that work with Josh, so I couldn't do it. And I think Gary said he was going to Arizona for a week or something. I think he does like a metal detecting trip down there. So when he gets back, I'm going to try to meet up with him and go out to his area too. Maybe I could take a helicopter ride.
I'd be saying, Gary, ring me when you get your helicopter booked, mate. Or
helicopter ride. Yeah, right. I know. I just want to take a helicopter ride. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of questions for you, Adam.
What's that?
I've got a couple of questions for you.
Yep.
One, from your experiences on the road so far, good and bad, if you had to have your time again, would you have done the trip?
Yeah, I would. Not if I wasn't a prospector, though. If I was, I wouldn't. There's no way. I thought I was well prepared mentally. That's the hardest right now, is the mental part. I'll say this, if I was single and I didn't have any direction in life and I wasn't trying to do the other things, this would be extremely easy. But the pressure of moving my family here and then being alone. Me and my wife have been together for 16 years. This past Valentine's Day was the first time we've ever been apart, on a Valentine's Day, and I've never been away from her for more than a week at a time. My kids as well. So I would do it over again, yes, but I would want to have about 10 times the amount of money that I did, which I planned on having, but because of New England winters, this winter was bad. My work shut down like 2 months earlier. So I left knowing that I had just enough money to get here, and if something bad happened, I was effed. And sure enough, something bad happened, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without everybody else, man. I would have been stuck back in New Mexico in the middle of the desert, sitting on the side of whatever sagebrush flying by was, you know what I mean? I would have been out there. So I would do it again, but more planning would have to go. I thought I had this all figured out in my head, but I don't. I've been all over the place because I don't know where to go, what to do. It's a big world, man. I've never gone further. I've gone south to Florida, never come out west. And I'll tell you what, the East Coast and the West Coast is a polar
two different places. Oh yeah, I'll agree there.
So just the culture shock and that stuff, no, it's hard, but at the same time, it's amazing to see different aspects on life, different people's.
Hi, Ed, can you hear me?
Uh-oh. I think you froze up, David.
I can hear you.
No, I think Adam froze up. Let me.
Can you hear me? Ed?
Oh, I hear you fine. There he is.
What's your other question, David?
The other question is, it's a hypothetical question. If a magic genie came down and said, you can find a $500,000 nugget on the condition that after you find that nugget, you can never prospect again, ever. Would you do it, or would you keep prospecting? He froze up again.
He's back with us, David. Did you get that question?
I got to on the condition that.
Okay.
On the condition, you can keep the $500,000 nugget.
Now David's freezing up. You could take the $500,000 worth of gold nuggets and never prospect again. I think that's what he was getting at.
No, I wouldn't, because that's the only thing. I need to do it. It's like my wife says I've become a better person in general.
Because of it?
Because of prospecting. It's made me a different person. Not to say I was a bad person before, but I have way different views on life now, and just the adventure. I mean, look at what I'm doing right now. I would have been stuck in Massachusetts forever if I didn't love gold, because I had to move and I chose to come here because it's gold country, you know, and just so many things have come to my life since I've become a prospector. The people I've met, the friends that I've gained. There's no way. $500,000 in nuggets for what I could get in the next 40, 50 years of doing this. There's no comparison. It's worth more than the gold itself. You know what I mean? Just going out with people and hanging out, even if I go out and dig all day and I don't get anything, just the time that I spend with other people as like-minded and as passionate about it, that's what I'm after. I'm after everything about it. It's not just the gold. It's about everything. It's about being out
lifestyle, the camaraderie, the lifelong friendships.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I wouldn't give it up for $100 million. Really, I would still have to go out. And, you know what I mean? Me
neither, my friend.
I wouldn't know what to do with myself. You know, I could have all that money and I would be miserable still because I'd be wanting to go out and dig.
Did you catch enough of your answer, David?
Yep, I sure did. Can you hear me, Ed?
Yeah, you sound good. Good.
Yep, no,
I heard the answer. I am exactly the same. I understood and agree with every word you said. I was just curious. I thought it was a good question, and
it's a great question. It's a great
question.
At least it wasn't the hypothetical question you gave Wade that you gave Nugget Brain.
Yeah, I watched that one. I was cracking up.
That was hilarious.
How's his answer though? That cracked me up. He swallowed the same nugget for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't that crazy, really.
No.
Well.
It was hilarious. He had a story to go with that.
Right.
What, David?
I'm going to hang up now and watch the rest of the show.
All right, buddy. Thanks for contacting us.
Yep.
No
Everyone.
David.
See ya.
All
See ya.
right. Our
So I
buddy
guess what I'm gonna do.
Tasmania.
I don't know if everybody here follows me on Facebook or not, but before I decided to come here to work for Josh, I was planning on going to the coast, and there's a whole beach of black sand, and it's right off the San Francisco Bay, and I know there's a big contact zone in that area, and I'm curious to see if there's anything in the beach sand.
Oh, I'm sure there is. You know, all that river, all the stuff, a lot of that drains into the Merced and
Yeah,
into the American, and all that goes to San Francisco Harbor and out to sea there. My mom's from Northern California in a town called Aptos on Monterey Bay. And they used to beach plaster the beach sands there in Aptos. And even out to Santa Cruz and stuff, they used to do a lot of beach mining. So, you know, all rivers and streams lead to the sea. So.
and right where this area is, if you look out in the ocean, there's an old. It would have been where the other mountain range was gonna push up if there was another episode, because you got the Sierra Nevadas, then you got the coastal mountain range in the valley. There was another mountain range that was gonna push up, and it stopped. You can see it about probably 100 miles out off of the shore, and it created a river valley in the ocean, and it comes from that same area. So there's a good chance, and that's why there's so much black sand there. There's obviously some kind of iron deposit and stuff going on in that area. If you go up the shore, I don't know, 200 miles or so, it doesn't look like that at all. It's just one spot, and it's kind of like a Cape Cod type deal where you know what I mean? It pushed up and thrust, and it was making a peninsula kind of in this one little cove. And that one spot, it's called Black Sands Beach, I believe. But
well, when you were driving 10 through the Palm Springs area and Thousand Pines,
yeah,
you were following right beside the San Andreas Fault.
Oh, yeah.
It actually goes out to sea at San Francisco.
Yeah.
So you have one pushing up, and you have the other one pushing down.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so I'm gonna have some time. I'm gonna try to find somewhere tonight. I'm filthy. I gotta take a shower, and I gotta do some laundry and stuff. So I'm trying to find somewhere soon where I can do both of those things, whether it be a truck stop or I might have to get a cheap hotel since I worked today. I got a couple bucks. It would be nice to have one good night's sleep before I go do a job interview. And I have my interviews at 3:45 tomorrow. So if I get all that stuff done early enough in the morning, my laundry and all that stuff, I'm going to head out to the coast and bring the banjo pan down there.
You go.
It's a state area, so I know there's going to be a hands and pans rule for sure. There's no kind of beach box or anything like that I'll be able to use. So I'll bring the banjo pan down, and I'll probably do another video from there. And then depending on what happens with the work thing, I might end up working all week next week. And then I'll be back out to Couteville with John in 2 weekends. And I'm going to work nonstop. I'm going to try to video as much as I can. I might just be kind of planting the camera there type of deal and then doing little clips.
Right.
Because I'm going to try to move some material, because I saw the gold that comes out of there and I want some of that. And I'm going to get down there and get some, hopefully. But I got 2 new videos. I'll have probably 2 more videos coming up soon. And in between, I'm going to try to get to one of these museums and actually go in instead of just going outside and taking pictures of stuff, because I want to go in and actually see the history and read about it. And
right.
I'd like to go to the Sutter's Mill area. There was another spot too. Oh, I drove by the I don't know how you say it, the Malkoloff Malakoff diggings. Is that what it is? Malakoff.
Malkoff.
It was a big area. They used hydraulic mining, and
Right.
some big gold came out of there. I was talking with Josh today, and right up in the area where I was, there was a 30-pound nugget found.
Ooh.
And then a little bit north, a little bit southwest, 179-pound nugget was found. So, I mean, this is obviously an area where there's some big gold, and you can see it. Like a lot of these places, like the school is built on old tailings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, you could be literally just metal detecting around a school and find gold. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I want to get up.
What?
I would like to get up to around Oroville, north of Oroville, a little bit, in the valley, kind of. There's a town park there where I forget who it was, but he found a 3-pound nugget, and it wasn't that long ago. And he was in like a public park metal detecting, and I'd like to get up there and do some metal detecting too.
Yeah, I have a foster brother that lives just southeast of Oroville in the Banner
Yeah.
area, yeah. So
I guess the guy from H&B Mining told me that he thinks I'd be better off staying in Yuba City for good. There's better concrete work there. He could hook me up with somebody, and he says it's more of an area that I would like, and it's near this area a little more too.
right.
So I get a lot of things to check out. You know, I went from having no work options to like 4 pretty good ones in a matter of days. And it would be really cool to hook up with a guy that is a prospector. Especially that guy, Harrington. I mean, he owns a mining supply store, claims, really cool guy. I mean, that might be something that if I can figure out if it works for my wife and my kids out here, because I know they're not going to want to be this far out. If I could get a little bit closer to maybe the west side of Sacramento off of 80 somewhere, because I guess the closer you get to the shore, there's more problems, which makes sense. But I mean, it's been awesome. This trip has just been, it's been ups and downs, but it's starting to get really good.
Right on. I'm glad it's going a lot better for you now than it was going just a couple weeks ago for you.
Amazing how much it turned around. And like I said, it wouldn't be the way it is if it wasn't for the mining community. So thank you, everybody. And everybody on YouTube and everybody on Facebook. I mean, and my family, just everybody has been there for me mentally, every way possible. I mean, it's just been amazing. And hats off to everybody for dealing with my crap. So
well, we will do what we can for you, our friends. So it's what there is.
Do you have any more questions or anything? Because I actually gotta hit the highway.
It's 6:30. It looks like it's getting dark there, and you have a lot of stuff to do before your interview tomorrow. But you have my number. You know how to get a hold of me. If you want to do another update here in a week or two, great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Maybe in like maybe before I go out with John, we can do something. Because I mean, I'm sure I'll get into something in between then. You know.
Right.
I still have this weekend. Really, I got Sunday too, and I know there's some spots out by the coast that had gold too. So, I mean, I might go out in Mount Diablo area. So maybe we could do one in a week or two, and then I could have another little update of what's going on.
Pioneer Polly from Vancouver Island says, cheers, Adam and the crew. Thank you. Good listening. Thanks, Polly, bro. Yeah, we have a global community in here tonight, Adam from California to New England, and in the middle, we have Tasmania and British Columbia, and who knows where else.
Yeah,
But we're
all
all
over.
behind. Our community is behind you, brother of another mother. And keep in touch. And good luck with all you do. We're behind you. I know you have a busy day and you still have a lot to do tonight before. Yeah. So I'll let you go, Adam. Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, everybody. Say what?
I said have a good night.
Oh, will do.
It's pretty late there, so yeah, good night to you all, for sure.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, thank you, everybody. I'll see you.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, bro. All right, our friend Adam. Adam, he's having an adventure of a lifetime. I love traveling myself. I've been all over the country and love traveling. One day too soon, sooner the better, I'd like to be back west, digging in the soils of my homeland, where Adam is, or up in Washington. Because when I lived in Arizona, I had a split lip the whole time I lived there. It was a real pain in the butt. So, until then, thank you, everybody, for all you do. Thank you for your support for Adam, however you do it. Thank you for being here. For our friend in Tasmania, David. Our friends in New England, Kevin, Callie, Dan, British Columbia, Polly. Keep up the good work, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Until then, may you always have a flash in your pan. And that's right. You know what I always say, and there's a reason why I say it. Maybe one day, too, I'll meet you on the river. Good night.